Arachnophobia. This is the fear of spiders. It's one of the most common phobias and can vary from mild discomfort to severe panic attacks. Acrophobia. This is the fear of heights. People with acrophobia might feel dizzy, nauseous, or experience panic attacks when they're at a high altitude. Claustrophobia. This is the fear of enclosed or confined spaces. It can be triggered by being in elevators, small rooms, or even tight clothing. Agoraphobia. This is the fear of being in situations where escape might be difficult or embarrassing. It often involves fear of crowded areas, open spaces, or using public transportation. Ophidiophobia. This is the fear of snakes. Like arachnophobia, it's a common fear that can range from mild discomfort to severe panic. Trypophobia. This is the fear of clusters of small holes or bumps. Even though it's not officially recognized as a phobia in the DSM-5, many people report feeling uncomfortable or anxious when they see images of things like lotus seed pods or honeycombs. Thanatophobia. This is the fear of death or dying. It's a common fear, but for some people, it can become debilitating and interfere with daily life. Social anxiety disorder. This is the fear of social situations that involve interaction with other people. People with social phobia may fear being judged or embarrassed in public, leading to avoidance of social situations. Glossophobia. This is the fear of public speaking. Many people experience nervousness or anxiety when speaking in front of groups. But for those with glossophobia, the fear can be overwhelming and may interfere with their ability to communicate effectively. Hemophobia. This is the fear of blood. It can manifest as fainting, nausea, or panic attacks when exposed to blood, or even just the thought of it. Aerophobia. This is the fear of flying. It can range from mild discomfort to extreme panic, and may involve fear of crashing, turbulence, or being out of control. Mysophobia. This is the fear of germs or dirt. People with mysophobia may engage in excessive cleaning or avoid situations where they might come into contact with germs. Astraphobia. This is the fear of thunder and lightning. It can be triggered by the loud noises, bright flashes, or the unpredictability of storms. Dentophobia. This is the fear of dentists or dental procedures. It can stem from a fear of pain, needles, or the dental environment. Cynophobia. This is the fear of dogs. It can be triggered by past traumatic experiences or simply by a lack of exposure to dogs during childhood. Nyctophobia. This is the fear of darkness or nighttime. It may be related to a fear of the unknown or a fear of potential dangers that may be present in the dark. Entomophobia. This is the fear of insects. It can involve a general fear of all insects or specific fears of certain types, such as cockroaches, bees, or spiders. Taphophobia. This is the fear of being buried alive. It can stem from a fear of confined spaces, suffocation, or the idea of being unable to escape. Trichophobia. This is the fear of hair. It can manifest as a fear of one's own hair, other people's hair, or even images of hair. Nomophobia. This is the fear of being without a mobile phone or being unable to use it. It's a relatively new phobia that has emerged with the widespread use of smartphones and can be related to anxiety about being disconnected from social networks or emergency contacts. Erythrophobia. This is the fear of blushing or the fear of seeing others blush. It can be linked to social anxiety and a fear of embarrassment. Pteromerhanophobia. This is the fear of flying on airplanes. While similar to aerophobia, which encompasses a fear of flying in general, Pteromerhanophobia specifically focuses on airplane travel. Atychiphobia. This is the fear of failure or fear of not being good enough. It can lead individuals to avoid taking risks or pursuing their goals due to the anticipation of failure. Phobophobia. This is the fear of fear itself, or the fear of developing a phobia. It can create a cycle of anxiety where individuals become afraid of experiencing fear and its physical and emotional effects. Xenophobia. This is the fear or dislike of people from other countries or cultures. It can manifest as prejudice, discrimination, or avoidance of individuals perceived as foreign or different. Chiroptophobia. This is the fear of bats. It can be triggered by the association of bats with vampires in popular culture, as well as concerns about diseases like rabies. Chronophobia. This is the fear of time, particularly the passage of time or of time running out. It can be linked to anxiety about aging, deadlines, or the future. Ergophobia. This is the fear of work or the workplace. It can manifest as anxiety about performance, social interactions, or the responsibilities associated with work. Ombrophobia. This is the fear of rain. It can be triggered by negative associations with rainy weather, such as accidents, flooding, or feeling trapped indoors. Philophobia. This is the fear of emotional attachment or falling in love. It can stem from past traumas or experiences of rejection and can lead individuals to avoid intimacy and relationships. Coulrophobia. This is the fear of clowns. It can be triggered by the exaggerated features, unpredictability, or association with horror in popular culture. Ablutophobia. This is the fear of bathing or washing. It can be linked to sensory sensitivities, trauma, or obsessive-compulsive tendencies. Automatnophobia. This is the fear of humanoid figures, such as robots, mannequin, or animatronic characters. It can be related to a fear of the uncanny valley or concerns about loss of control. Claustrophobia. This is the fear of cockroaches. It can be triggered by their appearance, fast movements, or association with unsanitary environments. Spectrophobia. This is the fear of mirrors or one's own reflection. It can be linked to superstitions, negative self-image, or cultural beliefs about mirrors and the supernatural. Carcinophobia. This is the fear of cancer. It can manifest as excessive worry about developing cancer, avoidance of medical screenings, or hypervigilance regarding physical symptoms. Telephonophobia. This is the fear of making or receiving phone calls. It can be linked to social anxiety, fear of judgment, or discomfort with verbal communication. Xenophobia. This is the fear of snow. It can be triggered by concerns about slipping and falling, getting stranded in cold weather, or experiencing accidents while driving. Tyrannophobia. This is the fear of tyrants or oppressive rulers. It can be related to historical traumas, political anxieties, or concerns about abuse of power. Ecclesiophobia. This is the fear of churches or religious objects. It can be linked to negative experiences in religious settings, conflicts with religious beliefs, or concerns about spiritual authority. Enochlophobia. This is the fear of crowds or large gatherings. It can be triggered by concerns about being trampled, losing control, or feeling overwhelmed by the presence of many people. Euphobia. This is the fear of hearing good news. It can be associated with anxiety about change, expectations of negative consequences following positive events, or a belief that good news is too good to be true. Genophobia. This is the fear of knees or the act of kneeling. It can be linked to fears of vulnerability, discomfort with physical closeness, or traumatic experiences involving the knees. Metrophobia. This is the fear of poetry. It can be associated with anxiety about interpreting or understanding poetic language, fear of being judged for one's interpretation, or discomfort with emotional expression. Necrophobia. This is the fear of death or dead things. It can manifest as anxiety about mortality, fear of corpses, or discomfort with the concept of decay and decomposition. Selenophobia. This is the fear of the moon. It can be triggered by superstitions, cultural beliefs, or negative associations with lunar events, such as eclipses or full moons. Vestophobia. This is the fear of clothing. It can be linked to sensory sensitivities, discomfort with certain fabrics or textures, or traumatic experiences involving clothing. Chronophobia. This is the fear of clocks. It can be associated with anxiety about time passing, fear of deadlines or schedules, or discomfort with the ticking sound of analog clocks. Anthophobia. This is the fear of flowers. It can be triggered by allergies, traumatic experiences involving flowers, or fear of insects commonly found around flowers. Pogonophobia. This is the fear of beards. It can be associated with discomfort with facial hair, fear of germs or parasites hiding in beards, or negative associations with bearded individuals. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more content like this. See you in the next one.